The Undertaker has one of the greatest careers in WWE, and over the years, we've seen the dead man highlighted so many times. But WWE 2K24 might be different. If The Undertaker is the showcase star, there are a few reasons why this could be one of the better modes in the game. Let's start off with the first thing, and that is going to be matchups. There are so many matches and non-WrestleMania matches and moments that 2K could pull from in the next video game. Undertaker versus Mankind King of the Ring 98 is one of them. Of course, you could do Bad Blood 97, HBK, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. Not only do you get the first Hell in a Cell match to play through, you'd also get the introduction of Kane for the very first time. Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker, any of them.
Die, and all that stupid crap.
For WrestleMania, you could do Taker versus Sid. We could do Survivor Series 94, Undertaker versus Yokozuna in a casket match. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Taker buried alive. Undertaker and Hogan, even Undertaker and Bam Bam Bigelow, who has not been in the game for so long. But then of course you have the WrestleMania matches. Randy Orton, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Batista, Bray Wyatt, the Boneyard match with AJ Styles, Diesel is in there, and of course Roman Reigns. Of course, this doesn't even talk about things like the Ministry of Darkness, the corporate Ministry of Darkness. The matches he had on SmackDown were awesome too. There are different sets of opponents during all the different eras of WWE that he could go up against, and all of the different versions of Undertaker being in there too. So if we're talking showcase, there really isn't anybody that has more depth to be able to show off and showcase like The Undertaker does in terms of their opponents and rivalries for such a vast history. The other reason why the showcase for Taker can work really well next year is the fact that Undertaker is still an active legend with WWE, still periodically shows up with WWE. He does his one night dead man show that he does.
Yeah, obviously barbecue.
He was inducted in the 2022 Hall of Fame, which gives 2K a bit of a runway when it comes to selecting Undertaker as a showcase candidate. He did the Last Ride documentaries, he's opened up a lot regarding his career. This is the other reason why I feel The Undertaker works really well for the next showcase, because you would want to get those one-on-one interviews with him. Just like they've done with Rey Mysterio and John Cena for the most recent showcases in 22 and 23, it's very easy to visualize Taker sitting down, giving these little moments and segments and insights to all of his matches and rivalries he's had over the years. But aside from the matches and why Taker would kind of make sense in this regard, just for the career standpoint, the body of work, for the game itself, the unlockables. This would be massive for players. If 2K does a similar approach like they did with John Cena's showcase, where you're playing as the opponent, you might be able to mix it up a lot more with Undertaker. Of course, you could play as Taker in the WrestleMania matches and win up until the point the streak is broken. But if you cherry pick some WrestleMania matches for him, you can do a lot of other ones where he lost. But win or lose, the amount of unlockables and match types that could come within an Undertaker showcase are pretty awesome. We're talking different WWE titles. You could include the replica Undertaker title that is actually sold on WWE Shop and make that an exclusive one in the game, just like they did with John Cena's title belt they sold. The different attires for Undertaker, we've had that in the 22 as the pre-order bonus, but they could expand on this in 24. And the big piece for unlockables would be the unlockable opponents. Different versions of Triple H, Randy Orton, Hulk Hogan, Mankind, HBK, Diesel, Sid Vicious. Being able to unlock all of these wrestlers within the showcase would be really cool. It would beef up the roster again, especially on the legend side, which is something that I feel has been missing the last couple of years. You can get the standard set of unlockables like the WWE titles, we get the championships, the Attitude Era Championship, the Undisputed Championship, and then arenas. Tons of WrestleMania arenas to unlock. A lot of really cool Attitude Era arenas, Raw is War, SmackDown arenas during Ruthless Aggression. One really cool thing they could do, and this would also be a fix in 2K24, number one, bringing in Paul Bearer as a manager once again. We haven't seen Paul Bearer officially in a 2K game in several years. And it's a real shame because he has managed some of the greats like Kane, like The Undertaker. He's even managed LA Knight. That's a deep cut right there. But we could get a proper Paul Bearer and Undertaker motion in the game. We could also get an Alt 1 for Kane and Paul Bearer. These things have been in the 2K series as entrance motions with manager, but they have been sadly taken out. It's time to bring this back. Because Taker's career is so long, it makes for a really great opportunity for the amount of unlockables and the cool stuff we could get. Speaking of cool stuff, this is where my prediction comes in for the different and new match types we could get in next year's game. Special guest referee is heavily rumored to be one of the match types in 2K24. Just from reading online and everyone's speculation, it seems to be the one thing that is likely to happen. Undertaker can fit in with this and unlock the match type by completing something like the end of an era match, where it's the Hell in a Cell match against Triple H and Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. You can also do the moment during the Attitude Era where it was Rock versus Triple H with special guest referee Shawn Michaels going in the Iron Man match, and Undertaker made his return as the early American badass. I mentioned Yokozuna versus Taker in a casket match. It's an easy way to bring that casket match within Showcase and open it up to the rest of the game. On top of that, Buried Alive match, which we have seen in years past.
Not a burrowed alive, a buried alive.
Redo the Austin Undertaker Buried Alive match. This is where I can see 2K having a lot more fun, players having a lot more fun by getting these updated and bringing back these long requested match types to the game. And you can probably visualize it now. Tons and tons of My Faction content. And look, I'm not a fan of My Faction the way it is currently. Maybe in 24 it's going to be fixed, it's going to be more player friendly. Maybe not. Maybe it's just gonna be microtransactions to hell. But you can see and visualize the pre-order bonus stuff with Undertaker and getting the Ruby cards and the Undertaker My Faction points. Not to mention the cover for the game. In 2K22 and 23, for each edition of the game, they would give you different covers, different versions. Undertaker is recognizable within wrestling everywhere. Casual fans, lapsed fans, new fans, they know who Undertaker is. From a marketing side, I think it makes it a lot easier to sell the game that way. Something very recognizable. Could they do it completely separate by having Undertaker Showcase and put Cody or Roman on the cover? Absolutely, and that'll work just as well. But you can give us different versions of Undertaker on the cover over the years, much like they did with John Cena in 2K23 with all of the different cover versions highlighting his different moments in his career. Now, as I was going through this, I spaced out and I apologize. Another match type to go in there, Inferno match with Kane. So special guest referee, Inferno match, casket match, Buried Alive match, on top of everything else that we currently get in 2K23 could be added in. That would be a super shot of content and match types and modes for players. Maybe even an official First Blood match too, why not? For me, an Undertaker Showcase is exciting to play because of the different opponents, because of the potential it has, and with Undertaker being fully retired at this point, it seems like just a perfect fit. Undertaker's obviously going to be in 2K24, but if you want to know more about roster leaks for the next game and who's going to be in it already, click this video right here because I go through a full breakdown of the latest roster leaks. See ya.